Yeah, because it's right at 3, and we're gonna go right at 3. It only needs 2 7/8 to lay rocker, but we're gonna do 3 just so that way you can lay up against it really good. The goal with any mini truck really is to lay rocker. That's the goal. So what we're gonna do with this truck is we're gonna stock floor body drop it. It needs about 2 7/8 to lay rocker. We're gonna end up body dropping about 3 inches to lay it super hard on the ground.
Okay, so what Trevor's doing on that side over there is he's measuring the height of the cab mount, so we know where to set the new cab mounts at when we do the body drop. So basically we're gonna be cutting 3 inches out.
He's not running 22s anymore, so there's no worry of, you know, anything rubbing crazy, so 20s will be fine with 3-inch body drop. I think it'll overlay nice, but it'll look really good.
Yeah, started thinking, you know, drivability, man. I'm building this thing to drive it and have some fun, so the 22 by 10s up front, they just realistically were not gonna be a thing. So found these 20 by 8.5s.
Be perfect, yeah. So can I add some tubes to this? Is that okay? Okay, because I'm really thinking, I really want to add one here that goes between these two. Yeah, I think the drive shaft will clear. It's just like a structure thing, you know? Yeah. And then I was kind of thinking about doing something to connect these that kind of maybe float on this pattern, but I didn't want to really push it on that one to have a curve to it, but I definitely want to put that lower in, just, you know.
Stay tuned, we're headed over to the Panda's house. Hey guys, Seth here at Switch Suspension. Just going to spend a few minutes talking to you about the basics of the air management system. First component of your air management is your air compressor. Now most systems run on either 1 or 2 compressors. The compressors are run off a relay so that the power running to them is clean power and does not go through a pressure switch. The pressure switch is what controls the air pressure in the tank. It turns your compressor on and turns your compressor off. Most compressors will run a maximum of 40 amperage draw under a full load. The next component to your air management system is your air tank or your pressure vessel. We recommend only aluminum air tanks to fight corrosion. Most air tanks are in the 3-gallon to 5-gallon range. The third component to your air management system is your valves or the distribution of the air to your airbags. These can come in a variety of configurations. Something as simple as a manual toggle valve. You push up, the air goes in the bag. You push down, the air comes out of the bag. Another common valve is a brass diaphragm style valve that you see in different industries that has been adopted in the air suspension market as well. Billet manifold valves have been introduced in the last few years and have really cleaned it up. And it's a product designed specifically for use in air suspension systems. The latest and greatest is an electric valve that is actually built into an air tank. The valves are built into the end caps of the tank and allow a much cleaner, simpler installation. The last component of your air suspension management system is your controller. Your controller activates the valves electronically, powering the solenoids to let the air in and out of your airbags. There's a few ways that you can do this. A simple 3-position momentary toggle switch, controlling the valves together or independently, or a touchpad style controller that will activate the air valves in combination with telemetry height sensors for predetermined ride height selections. The air compressor fills the tank to approximately 150 to 200 psi of air pressure. The valves then distribute that air pressure amongst your airbags via your controller. For more information, contact us here at Switch Suspension. Our phone number is 1-800-928-1984 or find us on the web, www.switchsuspension.com.
Hola, we're here at my house today. We're gonna be working on Roach's back half, just like another normal Saturday. And But my dad's in town, so I'm super stoked.
All right, so we're gonna take out some door panels on this and this and that.
Yeah.
Put a big motor in it.
Okay. How big a motor?
We want something to make this thing shake and bake.
Do you want the motor that you had before?
If you want to do that.
What was that?
If you want to do that.
No, what motor was it?
It's a 454, 427 head, Corvette heads on it, steel crank, roller rockers. It's ready to go.
Last weekend, Clay came over. We were just gonna spitball some ideas for the upper wishbone. We planned on using the Canadian chassis components, rod ends for this thing. They worked out perfect. Tony even machined us some custom bungs for them, so that way I'm not welding around the polyurethane. It's just all aluminum, so nothing melts. We ended up doing a crossbar, the extended piece off the heim joint just for strength. He said he wants to 3-wheel this thing, so it's got to be strong.
Hey, so I'm Dennis, Trevor's dad. Flew in from Ohio, checking out all the garage stuff and this and that.
How big a motor?
We want something to make this thing shake and bake. Down the road, we'll be doing an old El Camino, 68 El Camino, getting it going. We're gonna make that sucker go fast, rideable. It's gonna be a good thing. Oh, the show's the coolest thing ever. I bring it up on YouTube, and we show all my buddies in Ohio and stuff like that. They just think Trevor's an artist when he does this stuff.
It wasn't just like back house on your stuff. It was like anybody who had their own truck, bring it over to Trevor's house. His mom doesn't care. Like, we're gonna use all the power with this fucking Harbor Freight flux core welder, dude. We're gonna cut something off and we're gonna weld something back on. And then we're gonna drive to Pavilions.
This is my junkyard. This is kind of where cars go to like take naps for a long time. They always come back to life, but this is kind of just like a holding yard, I guess. Everybody always asks about the Panda, and this is it, you know? It sucks, but it's like we got a lot of customer builds going on, and it's kind of on the back burner. I don't know, after this build's done, after Roach's truck's done, we got a C10 we got to do, and yeah, then this thing's coming back. I'm not gonna take any more builds in. We're gonna build this thing. It's gonna be badass.
Today's episode, we talk about how Trevor is a robot produced by Miller Welding Company. The wire actually comes out his fingertip. Legend has it that he doesn't have a belly button. He was never born.
You adjust the wire like this. Wire speed 4, heat, fucking 11 volts or whatever. He just...
Oh no, I just kind of go with the flow. It's hard to like imagine because everything's in like Trevor's head. So you never really know what it's gonna look like until the parts get cut. It's kind of just like a mystery.
Right behind you. So that's on the other side, but you'll still see it from like the side is what I'm thinking.
So the arm pretty much starts off of the ram that comes off of the lower arm. Yeah, it's just the bearing's big. It's ginormous. It's big as, you know. And so it mounts off of that, and then it continues, and it goes back to the Fox coilover. Connects to that. Coilover comes down to another cross member that we have to build. That's pretty much going to match that radius one. The key to the clean weld is a clean piece of metal. So this is 188 P&O. It basically means that it has like a light coating of oil kind of on it to stop the rust from over time of while it's getting transported and cut and all that. And it's easy to clean up. You just hit it with the wire wheel, takes all of it up, comes to a nice shine, you know. Like you could run it through a belt sander, make it look all fancy, all clean. And then the edges clean up really nice compared to just like normal mild steel where it's got that nasty black scum on the top of it.
Yeah, it travels, it works. Everything works perfect. Super stoked. The Canadian chassis components worked out perfect. The heim joints are awesome. The bushing rod ends are awesome. I already designed this truck and built this truck 10 years ago, you know. So it's basically we just figure out the problems that we had before and decided to make it better. So, you know, quality always gets better, parts always get better, things always get better. So it's just a way better, cleaner, nicer, better version of the one that we did 10 years ago.
It just kind of, you know.
What we're doing is we're going to be mounting the hydraulic rams here on top of the arm, and the cantilever bar will go across to the back to a coilover. So that'll actually carry the weight of the truck. The plated piece is going to go across here. It has this giant bearing setup that we have right here. So it has this kind of like a roller, so as it's driving, as it's rolling down the road, it has movement in this, but it's really going to be carried the weight back here in the back of the truck with coilover.
Francisco came by today to check out his new lifter bars that Trevor's welding up to go on his custom back half that we were going to build for him. Just got his 20 by 14 3-piece wheels that are going on it. 20 by 9s going on the front, body drop mini truck. Trevor's also getting down today on Roach's cantilever mount that comes off his frame. He's just flicking the dimes down like it's nothing. They say he naps sometimes under his hood while he welds.
I like to cook a good cheddar wurst, you know, from time to time. So that's what we're cooking up today, some good old-fashioned cheddar wursts. We're gonna go ahead and finish these off by toasting the buns and then covering them in cream cheese topped with other cheese and more cheddar wurst. It's like a heart attack in a bun, but it's really good. Fanta, that's me. This is Mike. Mike. Starting to sweat, got a little browning going. Means they're on their way. Look at that. So we got 3 guys, got 4 dogs, you know, gotta dice them up even, you know? Okay, so now that we got our dices up, go ahead and we picked the light cream cheese today because it's what we have in the fridge.
Yeah, look how he uses the back of the spoon.
I use the back of a spoon to spread my stuff because honestly it's easier than a knife. Spreads a lot smoother. Things get moved around a lot easier.
You know you're a chef.
When you're a chef, yes, these are things you know. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just, you know, throw a couple of these on here, even them out so nobody gets mad. Okay, so Mike, yours is gonna go ahead and be, we're gonna build Mike's opposite. We're gonna throw his cheese down first. Take a look at that. You know what? Mike's a little low on cheese. We're gonna top him off. How is it? Is it good? Does it feel good? It's going down. The cheese melted nice in there. Cream cheese melted from the dog, from the heat of the dog and the heat of the bun. It's great, man. This is great.
Every truck that anybody ever had or car drove it straight over to Trevor's house, cut something off. Put a fucking cherry bomb. Chill out, mom. Put a cherry bomb on that shit. Almost right away, like just at least cut the muffler off, straight pipe it.
What's up, guys? Aaron here, working on Roach's back half. So far, we got his wishbone fully done. We got his front mounts for his lower link bars. We also want to give a thank you Mr. Brian Vowell, supplying us with the best abrasive and cutting wheels in the industry, along with some of the best anti-spatter you can buy. Brought to you by Weldcoat, brought to you by CGW Abrasive Wheels. Thank you, Brian.
Dude, remember we welded, I had a Jeep, and I was like, Trevor, I want like a cherry bomb, dude. I just cherry bomb it. He's like, all right, do this. And I'm like, no, I want it this way. And he's like, that's gonna look stupid. I'm like, do it, man, let's do it. So we did it, and I ended up with a pipe coming across, going under my drive shaft and sticking out the side. It was your dumbest exhaust ever. And the worst thing, dude. So stupid.
We've done one side. Now what we're trying to do is replicate it over to the second side. We're just kind of, lining everything up, seeing what else we still need to make. There's a lot of machine parts that still need to be made for this thing. So, yeah, that's where we're at. It goes higher. It's as high as it goes right there.
Frontier Shop Supplies, your #1 source for all your shop supply needs. From abrasive to welding supplies, we've got you covered. We carry abrasives, nuts and bolts, push DOT air fittings, electrical supplies, spray paint, safety supplies, saw blades, welding supplies, and many other items. Check us out at www.frontiershopsupplies.com. Any order over $99 ships free in the lower 48. Give us a call or look us up on the web and we'll get your supplies headed out to you today. www.frontiershopsupplies.com or 480-981-1126. Use coupon code LOWLIFE10 for a 10% discount.
It's like, it's kind of weird, like when everybody has their job, you know what I mean? Like you do your thing, you know, I do my thing, and these guys, this is what they do, you know what I mean? So it's coming in from something where I don't really see it, I don't really understand and know what's going on. Like I get a basic idea of it, but then to see it actually happen and kind of witness it is kind of cool. I wished I could help out like a lot more with the welding and the measurements and all of this, but like if I did, it wouldn't be what it is, you know what I mean? It's super cool, man. I like seeing it. I like seeing it come together. I can't wait to see it come together further. Yeah, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking in on my build. I really appreciate every single one of you. Stay tuned, because there's a lot more coming.
International House of Burgers. How do you go from breakfast to burgers? Do they sell more lunch?
I think they're just trying to get in.
Yeah, but then you ruin your name.
Think how good promotion this is. Yeah.
So we're gonna put all the cab mounts on. We'll run our pieces of all thread. We'll weld the nuts down, do what we gotta do there. Connect the front section. Perfect, there you go. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. So we're gonna do a stock floor body drop. And the easiest way that I guess I figured out so far is just use all thread if you already have the cab mounts. So I'm gonna shoot pieces of all thread through the cab mounts. I'm gonna weld a nut to the frame so that way I can take it in and out. I'll take my measurements. I'll mark them on all the all thread, and that way when we remove the frame section, we can put those back in, and you just kind of measure how far you need to drop for the body drop, and just adjust your plates to that, and it's like basically you got your cab mounts right where they were, just a little bit lower. Like it's usually like when it rains like this, it's just like drops here and there, and you might, you know, it might be a little bit cooler, but it never consistently rains like this. You know why? It's because those GMO clouds.
GMO clouds?
Yeah, that's what it is. Chemtrails? What? Okay, they spray chemicals up in the air. Okay, the lines, you see the lines. You see them coming out of the jets. Okay, they're chemtrails. So they spray this chemical in the air. What it does is it draws the moisture from the earth up into it. And as soon as the sun starts going down, look at those chemtrails, they start falling because they collect water. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to harness the weather. It's all HARP, you know? Because it's the easiest way, the weather is the easiest way to destroy another country and also fly in to support and send aid at the same time. Oh yeah, for sure. I love the rain here.
So today, Saturday, we pulled up to Mr. Brian Savage's house, body dropped his Sonoma. We showed up, we unloaded Trevor's truck, we assessed the situation that was at hand. We made a game plan and we tackled it. Getting about halfway done through the body drop. This is a wrap for Saturday, but so far we got his old frame rails out.
So we'll butt it up right, he gets it. Weld this inside seam all the way around, weld the outside seam.
We got the new frame rails tacked in, mostly welded in. We got some gussets supports going from the 2x3 to the front clip. Trevor's getting his drawings all finished up so he can get them all cut out. Press broke, making it look pretty. Next time we'll be here, we'll be finishing it all up, doing his transition plates for the rear section of the frame to the 2x3.
Magic. So this is my 1967 C10, built by Chassis by Aaron in Covina, California. It was a commission build by Howie Kendrick. He's a second baseman for the Anaheim Angels. He just wanted something cool to show up to spring training instead of a Lambo or a Ferrari. You know, he wanted something unique. He's always been a truck guy. So he commissioned this build that just, I don't know if it started out this way, but it's over the top. There isn't one part of this truck that is untouched. Full custom fab frame, custom suspension, custom rear end. I mean, everything is built. The booster and the master have been shaved off the firewall. They actually sit sideways under the dash behind the stereo. It's got a blown 6-liter LS, fully polished, 4L80 transmission, independent rear, 22-inch bomb speeds. I mean, the truck was ahead of its time. Shaved doors, shaved all over the thing. The biggest kicker is that the graft on the roof is so smooth, a lot of people don't notice that it's even been swapped. They know something's different. A lot of people think it's been chopped. And then they start looking at it and they realize what really happened. So the cab has been stretched. The cab, we figure, is about 5 inches longer. The bed is shortened to keep the proportions correct. And it's just bad, dude. It's a lot of fun. It rides on AccuAir management, AccuAir E-level controller, control arms are built. The upper control arms are stacked, triple stacked and chrome plated. They're just beautiful. I mean, they have style. They have function and they have style. When I had the opportunity to buy the truck, my first question was not how much, is what's wrong with it, because I hadn't seen it for a while. And the answer to that question was a dead battery. It's been so well preserved, it's just been sitting in a garage. The tires were 8 years old. All I did to this truck was charge the battery and replace the tires.
Right now, what we're doing is we're draining it so that we can get it fully pulled out. Once we get it fully pulled out, we're gonna go ahead and cut off all of his old bracketry. We're gonna strip all of his old brake lines, speed sensors, get it basically bare so that we can have it where we need it to be so that we can take our measurement. We're gonna narrow this 3.5 inches on each side, and then we're gonna get it all set up so that Clay can cut it and shorten the rear end.
I've been thinking about doing the bags for a while already. The only problem was finding a good shop.
Inside the shop right now, we just brought in the 2016 Chevy Silverado that we're gonna be doing air ride on. So right now what Clay's working on is putting the passenger side front upper bag mount in, and where this bolts is where the front strut used to be. So once it's up there, it's angled right for the bag so that when you have it aired out, all the way out or aired all the way up, that you have a good geometry on the bag and it's not causing bulging. So we just finished cutting the top leaf spring brackets off of the rear end. The reason why we're getting all that stuff out of the way is so we can shorten it. He opted for a 26 by 12. The offset's a little bit aggressive on there to give it that deep dish look. So in order for us to get those massive wheels to tuck inside of the bed, we got to narrow up that rear end to clear everything.
Pull your center section out. On each side of your bearing or on each side of your race, you got these little shims. You want to use tie wire to keep it all together in the same spot. So those shims are not interchangeable for each side.
We know that the rear end's already been narrowed. We don't know how much it was already narrowed, so what we're doing is we're measuring these axles and comparing them to the factory ones so we can determine how much it was already narrowed before it got here. Just for peace of mind, so what we know when we go to order axles that we're about to narrow it 3.5 inches, and then whatever they already narrowed it, then we know that the new axles that we're gonna get might be 4.5, 5.5, depending on his measurements right now.
So far we got all the brackets cut off. Going through now with the plasma cutter, I'm skimming whatever left over on the axle. I hammer it back when I make the two side cuts. I make the two side cuts and I score the back so I can hammer it so I'm not cutting directly into the axle tube. Because if you cut into the axle tube and you score it too much, it just makes more work for yourself, and let alone if you even puncture a hole in it, and then you're screwed. Yep, been using the hypertherm to cut all the brackets off. Start going through, shaving them all down, getting them as close to the axle as I can. That way I have less time sitting there with the grinder grinding away. So I looked up online a measurement for a stock axle shaft, which came out to be 34 3/32. And Martine's axle shafts measure out to be 31 5/8, I believe is what it was. So his was narrowed roughly like 2 5/8 or something like that. The kit calls for about 4.5 inches of narrowing, but we're not sure if we might have to do more than that because of the extreme offset that's on the wheel. I think I start my day, I wake up at about 10 a.m., scroll on my phone for a bit until my dog starts attacking me. That gets me out of bed. He'll start like biting my toes and shit. So I get up, I take him for a walk, get back to my house, normally hang out for a bit, maybe make some breakfast, maybe go to the gym. I don't know, I'm not really, I don't wake up and do too many activities before my work. You know, I just kind of wake up, get going, do my thing. I like to have a life after work, because then I come here, I sell my soul to Corey, I put some time in, I work. Look at it squirted out. The way the jig works is you have pucks that bolt into your center section, and then you have pucks that fit and slide into the outsides of your axle tubes. And then the way those work is we have a 72-inch machined bar that we slide through. And the 2 pucks that are held in the center of the carrier hold the bar perfectly straight, as just how your axle shaft should be. So that way when you slide the puck on to the outside of the axle shaft tube, you know that it's perfectly at a 180 or 90, however you want to say it.
Trying to keep the rotation, the speed that he's welding it at, so we can have a consistent weld across the whole axle tube. So I'm looking right at his weld and trying to keep it so he's not moving the actual gun, and then we're just moving the axle. This trailing arm setup that we're using is not adjustable, so where it lies is kind of where it sits. So it's not like we could center the axle inside of our notch afterwards. Since we're not running the parking brake cables anymore underneath the parking brake, we're just kind of cleaning up the bracket, and it helps clearance where the 4-link bars go up and down. Right here, so if we have a nut here, we can still get in with a wrench, and we can loosen this and pull it out. But the way it's blocking, we didn't bring the bolt in this way, and we had it that way. There's no way of getting it out unless we pull the whole axle tube and all that. In order to pull the axle tube, you got to pull the center diff apart. It's just a bigger ordeal. Things break. You have to service things every once in a while. If this bushing ever went bad and we wanted to drop the 4-link bar in order to service it, now we don't have to pull extra stuff apart. We can just pull one bolt out as opposed to pulling the whole damn thing apart. So it's important that we kind of get everything mocked up and up there and see where it sits so that we can decide if we like the placement of the notch. We've roughly set the notch so that it would be centered with the wheelbase, which is 118 inches on this truck. This one's too.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, I just got to tell you, I'm right here at the Tailgate Truck Show, right here in El Segundo. I just got done with a set. If you can hear behind me, we got a Harlan Sweetwater band. Just a little while ago, we had the Sandbox Bullies. We had a bikini contest. We got trucks, all makes and models. We got Fords, all that. Hey, that's Betty Santiago right there, the one and only. Check her out. Instagram, Facebook. I don't even. Can you find her on Facebook?
I'm a ghost. You can't find me anywhere.
She's on the big league tip. You can't find her anyway.
Yeah, I'm Betty Santiago, guys, and we just had a really awesome bikini contest here at the Tailgate Truck Show 2017. Don't miss out next year, because if you do...
That was bomb. That was good.
It really was.
She's a great hostess. She was up there. Had the girls in bikinis up there. I was like, okay, I'll judge that.
You saw that?
I'll
They were
judge
shaking
that
their
every
stuff.
day.
They did their thing, and we got some really cool winners. So next year, be here, be square, guys.
Be here, be square. I want to
Be here,
big
be
big shout out to Crown. What about Crown?
Crown, I got that on.
Crown
I got
sunglasses,
that on.
man, best set of shades I've ever had in my life, and that's no joke. Crown sunglasses, we thank you, man. Eddie G, if you're out there, we thank you for putting this on, man. There's some killer trucks here, killer bands. I got me a little brewski.
And I would like to show it all off.
Ah! Show it all off, baby. Let's see that.
We have Betty Santiago.
Did you say bikini contest?
I did say bikini
You did
contest.
say bikini contest. We had an awesome bikini contest today, guys. Amazing girls. They did their thing on stage.
She was the MC right there.
I was.
I just laid low. Let her do her thing.
Yeah. And we crowned some really amazing girls. We had amazing sponsors, AccuAir.
Oh yeah, AccuAir. Let's talk
LMC
Crown
Trucks.
sunglasses. That's
Crown.
number one.
We do.
AccuAir. Who
Yes.
else do we have?
We have LMC Truck.
Oh, LMC Truck was
Yes.
here. We had Viair Corp.
Viair Corp.
We're all talking about air ride suspensions, man. They're all about that.
Swanky's Vintage.
Oh, Swanky's. What about K&S?
What about K&S?
We had K&S.
We had K&S here.
Swanky's. Who else did we have? Oh, OPP.
OPP.
Come on down. OPP was here. Who else did we have?
We got C10.
C10 Talk, I believe it. It's all about.
No, you know what? It's like a
C10
whole
Talk.
movement.
No, it's a
C10 movement.
there's
It's a
C10
whole
everywhere.
movement. It's like
C10
a
Talk was
lifestyle, apparel.
Absolutely.
Everything.
But
Everything.
C10 Talk was here, though. I think I've seen him.
I saw him.
You know who else was here? Pete's was here.
Pete's?
Pete's was
What
here.
about DJM?
DJM
Suspension.
was up in
We
here.
had them too. Blacktop Magazine.
Oh, Blacktop Magazine. I saw.
Blacktop Magazine.
Who
Shout
else
out
we
to
got?
Blacktop Magazine.
Man, I don't even know who that is.
Zug
I'm glad
Monster.
they were here.
Zugmonster.com.
Who is it?
Zugmonster.com.
Was it Zug Monster?
Zug Monster. We
I didn't
also
even
had
catch it.
whitewalls.com.
What is it?
Whitewalls.com.
I
White
can't
Walls
read that
Inc.
shit.
White
Hold on
Walls.
a second. You know what? I'm living large right now, sis.
Sure am I.
Here's to you.
All right, cheers.
Tailgate
See you
Truck
next
Show.
year.
I was telling Corey that my brother will like bug me to take like, he took probably I'd say like an inch or so off my beard, probably a little more. And I always chew his ass because I always think he takes way too much off, and then no one ever notices that I even trimmed it. And then I feel bad because I'm mean to him about it. What up guys, welcome back, Low Life Show. Just finished up most of the sheet metal work here in Martine's full-size 2016 Silverado. We got all the sheet metal self-tappered on right now. So along with doing a full sheet metal bed, we did an air management cradle in the rear of Martine's bed. That way he has easy access to his AccuAir tank and his dual compressors. It's basically just that way in case he ever has problems with his air management, or even just going to a show, you want to show off the, you got good product, you want to show off that you got the good product. So you pull up, you got a full finished bed, and that way you got your door that's gonna sit in here and you can pop the door open. Everyone can take a look, And same along with anything happens with his compressors or his tank, or he wants to change out his tank for the CVT, he doesn't have to crawl under his truck, he doesn't have to pull the bed off, he's got access right there. Yeah, Martine.
This is it. Here's the new shop. This whole place was destroyed when I got in here. People living in here. We gotta frame up a new bathroom, frame up a new loft. These walls had tons of holes in them. It took about a week to patch the holes, skim coat it all, drywall, texture. We drywalled and textured all the walls. The ceiling was beat up pretty bad, so we drywalled it, the whole ceiling. We're gonna make a workstation, all in there, tables, welders, grinders, saws, all in there. We're gonna have 2 post lift here.